Well, it has been 378 days, yes, you heard that right, ever since the last time Tier 2 challenged the streets of Monte Carlo. But tonight, the wait is over. Welcome along to Monaco for Round 5 of the Season 7 Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship, the Monaco Grand Prix. Fangio, Brabham, Moss, Hill, Lauda, Prost, Senna, Schumacher, Hamilton are all Monaco Grand Prix winners and are all synonymous in the history books of Formula One. That is the type of caliber of driver you have to be to win at the Principalitine. It takes skill, patience, tenacity, consistency, and maybe a little bit of luck to win here. There are plenty of casinos around the streets of Monte Carlo who will put their money on black for that black and white checkered flag and win the Monaco Grand Prix. Speaking of Monte Carlo, let's talk about the circuit then. The Monaco Grand Prix was first held in 1929. That is almost 100 years ago. And the layout has remained virtually unchanged. It has 19 corners, 8 to the left and 11 to the right, which makes up the 3.337 kilometer, 2.074 mile circuit. There is one DRS zone entering Saint-Devote, but even its assistance overtaking will not be any easier because the track is notoriously difficult for overtaking. With the barriers close to and every driver on the limit at all times, this will be the most stressful race on the calendar for any driver. Strategy is going to be a major factor in the racing here tonight and the finishing order with the C5, C4, and C3 tires. It is the softest range of the Pirelli arsenal, the C5 being the red-wooled soft compounded tire, C4 being the yellow-wooled medium compound tire, and the C3 being the white-wooled hard tire. We're probably not going to see a lot of tires on those C3s and a lot of drivers on the C3s here tonight. The drivers also have intermediate and full wet tires if they ever so need it and if the conditions require it. Let's talk about the championship then, and who's tuned in to almost every Tier 2 stream. It's been a long time since I've been here, and the championship definitely reflects it. On the championship lead right now, the Alfa Romeo of Swellerstein, that is a lot different than whenever I was last year. It was SSR Wraith. He's now 16 points behind Swellerstein in the Alfa Romeo. Botschibba in P3 in the Aston Martin, 33 points adrift from Sweller. Toneless, he sits behind him. 1 point adrift separates the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. No Limit, who we're on board with, is 5 points back in 5th from Toneless. He's going to try to go and do the best he can to get ahead of that Ferrari here tonight. TTM Heatwave, after 2 great finishes for the AlphaTauri, he's up into P6 ahead of I Am Tweaking, who unfortunately cannot be here tonight, who is ahead of Mozzie by about 8 points. In P9, the Australian Chucky Snags and the Williams, his P6. 16 points and 1 point ahead of the McLaren of Silkweaver, who is not here tonight. And finally, let's go to the Constructors' Championship. Alfa Romeo leads it by 26 points ahead of Ferrari, who leads it 3 points ahead of Red Bull in 3rd. McLaren with 49 points, 5 points ahead of Aston Martin in 5th. AlphaTauri, they sit P6 with 33 points, 11 ahead of Mercedes in 7th. Williams sit 8th with 16 points. Alpine sits in P9 with, ironically, 9 points. And Haas rounds out the top 10 with 1 point. Well, now let's get to qualifying as the laps have been put up. Wraith has set a 9-8. Now, Redeemer, we've already both had our fair share of the races last night with Tier 3 and Tier 4 respectively. We both know how to kind of, I guess, manipulate the streets of Monte Carlo to the driver's own, I guess, unique driving style, but it doesn't change much. The barriers, the driver's style can move, but the barriers do not. How do you think these drivers are going to really react to the first time? Monaco's been on the calendar in over a year.
I mean, it's basically this race is a battle of attrition. Who can keep it out of the barriers? Who can stay on the circuit as long as we can all see there's only 13 drivers as Sweller goes P2. I just caught the end of that. Yeah, it's a battle of attrition, this race. You know, you got to really keep the car within the track limits, especially down at the Nouvelle Chicane and the swimming pool. If you get those corners just wrong, you could end up with wing damage or potentially crashing out of the race like Charles Leclerc did in qualifying in real life. Yeah, it's very difficult to try to keep it clean and keep the picks up and keep faster cars behind you.
Yes, it is, and it's going to be a very big scenario. How would these drivers really reflect on it? Like I said, strategy is going to be a big thing, And you see from the Tier 3 and Tier 4 races, as well as actually the realistic race back on Thursday, some of these drivers had inverted strategies, and they were defending tooth and nail, even though they didn't need to against drivers behind them. Speaking of attrition, one driver's already out of qualifying, that's George Braccio in the Haas. He's the new driver, and he joined, I believe, not too far ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix. He's not going to start his Tier 2 championship with the best of, I guess, the best of luck, I guess you could say. He's out of qualifying and will start, I believe, unless no time is set, he will start from the back of the grid in 13th. Right now, we're on board with Botch Turbo, going through now into Loras Cast in the Aston Martin. We've been on board with him the entire lap. Once again, he had some good finishes like he did a couple weeks ago. Can he do it again here at Monaco? It's difficult. It's a very, very tedious and very strong circuit for a lot of these guys. And that proves it. 10-3 for the Aston Martin, almost 5/10 off the drift of BRL Wraith in the Red Bull. Right now, Wraith is looking strong, only drivers in the 9.
Yeah, no limits on a lap again, coming through sector number 3. Swimming pool is, Heatwave is retired. As
Yes,
he just
he's
clipped
crashed.
the wall, I believe, like Charles Leclerc. No limit's going to hit the wall at the final corner. And Master Plane's coming through swimming pool as we see Heatwave there on his left-hand side. He's going to keep it nice and clean. Coming into the final 2 corners, keeps it nice and clean away from that wall on the outside left. Final tricky corner, he's going to get on the throttle. Very slow lap, must be just a warm-up lap for Master Plane as he's going to slow down, recharge his battery.
Well, right now, like you said, it's already a war of attrition, and it's only qualifying. We've had 2 drivers crash out, 13 attended. That means 11 are going to be left right now. As it stands, Heatwave's lap is enough for the top 10. Start on those mediums, and that'll be a pretty crucial tire to start on because you'll have to be on that harder and slower compound tire for that opening stint. But if you can, I guess, keep it off the barriers and extend it long, he could have that reverse strategy. It paid off for a lot of drivers, including in Tier 3 a day ago, actually. Killer F1 in the Haas, he took it long on the mediums and went onto the softs and grabbed an easy P2. Actually, it wasn't easy at all. It took 39 laps of on the knife's edge of stress. Well, let's see who can, I guess, benefit from that today. Right now, Matt Silva is going to be out on a lap in the out lap for the Alpine team. See what he can do right now, sitting P6 and 11.890. About 4/10 or so off of TTM Heatwave on, I guess, the soft tires. Matt Silva is trying to case down the Alpha Tauri in 5th.
Yeah, and Wraith right now is on another outlap on softs. I didn't get a chance to watch his lap, but I'm just curious to see how much time he has left on this Monte Carlo circuit.
Well, it's a driver's track, Monte Carlo is. It's the more you push, the more lap time you're going to get out, but it also has the, I guess, the opposite turn of events is if you push too hard, you also find yourself at the barrier a lot easier. So a lot of these guys have that struggle to go on with through the 39 laps of the Monaco GP in about 9 minutes time. If you're tuning into the Breakout Racing League for the first time, welcome along. We're glad to have you and glad to see you washing along the Tier 2 Championship, the second highest equal performance tier in Breakout Racing League. The only one higher than this will be after this shortly, and starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will be Tier 1. Well, you get to see the big names go and tackle the Principality as well. But right now, you're here with us, stuck with me, Hickatcher, and LDR Redeemer. We never finally got to introduce ourselves for the stream, but now we're going to be here for Monaco once again, like it was a couple weeks ago. It's been a long time, but the booth is finally back together.
Yeah, I think it was China, I believe, was the last race we did together. As Silva goes purple
right.
sector 1, coming through the hairpin where Carbon F1 in Tier 4 last night crashed. No idea how he did that.
Speaking of crash,
Was that Wraith?
Wraith. Yes, it is.
Oh.
Casino Square. He had a little bit of a moment going through into Massenet and understeered into the barrier, collected it, and spun to the left-hand side, and his entire front wing of that Red Bull is now out and now has to go to the pit lane and, well, replace that front wing and get a new set of tires. So that lap is not going to be necessarily great. Well, because he has no downforce on the car, so we'll see. Hopefully he can get back to pit lane safety.
5/10 up through sector 2. Catcher, sorry to cut you off. Keeping it through the final corners. He's going to go a little bit wide. Coming through the final corner now, he's going to get on the throttle. Careful not to lose the rear. He's going to come to the line. He's going to set a 1:11.1. Jumps up to P4.
That was a good lap. Only 10th off as well as team in the Alfa Romeo.
Mozzie
Ahead of him.
just invalidated the Nouvelle Chicane. A lot of drivers are having issues with this Nouvelle Chicane.
keep in mind of that in the race. Both Aston Martin pairing is going through that tunnel right now. Holy Cow is going to be going now into Marabou, the first one of the two. You see yellow flag. Is that... Looks like it is a driver getting out of the way. And actually
coming through, and he is completely boshed the Nouvelle Chicane as well.
Masterplane getting out of the way for the Alpine there. Oh, we've seen a lot of moments for these drivers. It's only been qualifying, and as it stands right now... Oh, Masterplane didn't really get much better either. Let's go through Groggy, the final corner. Is he going to finish the lap? He looks like he is. Let's figure out what that Alpine can do. His teammate, Matt Silva, is 11.1, sitting in P4. Can Groggy match or beat him? No, he can't. 14.1. He has some mistakes. Obviously, you said he messed up the Nouvelle Chicane. Well, he just moves up Sandoval and validated his lap time. Masterplane behind him, though, in the Aston Martin. He's going to be on a fresh salad through the first corner. He goes up through into Massenet. Now into Casino Square. Let's take an onboard lap with the Aston Martin of Masterplane. You see dodging that bump on the Marabou. It's going to be tight, but it's going to be crucial to get a good run into the hairpin. This is the slowest corner on the calendar, not just the circuit. Entire 24 race calendar we have down into Massenet, now into Portier, into one of the most famous parts of Monaco, the tunnel. Going in now, you see this dip right here, turn 9. It can catch out some drivers in the race. I was actually one of those drivers who almost got caught out. Down into the Nouvelle Chicane, there's a trouble point. You see the sparks on the left-hand side. Someone has hit the wall there earlier this session. Now into Tabac. This is going to be another trouble for the race. Make sure you don't hit that wall on the right-hand side. Swimming pool section. This is going to be another trouble spot. Now into the second swimming pool section. Yellow flag. That may be Groggy. He may have spun around again. Now into La Rascasse. It's going to be crucial to get a good run. Now into Anthony Nodes, the track's designer. Well, he gets his little own special memorabilia through turn 19. Now, Masterplane up to the line. 12.7 is his lap. Now it's 11.0.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, Cacho, while you were doing your on-board lap with Masterplane, who had left qualifying, and Holy Cow said his Xbox had shut off on him. So, hoping to get him back into the session before quali ends. But speak of the devil.
That's good. He's go back in. I don't actually have the luxury of seeing who leaves and rejoins. Like a couple weeks ago, I had that same issue. All right, now Groggy's on another flying lap. Now going into Massenet. I'm sorry, into Marabou. Now into the hairpin. What can the Alpine do? Obviously, he had a couple of mistakes on the previous couple of laps. He needs to try and, I guess, smooth those out. Well, this is not going to help. Right into the wall at Massenet 2, and he's going to run wide at Portier. That lap's going to be done and dusted.
Chunky Snags is on the lap at the moment. Catcher, sorry to cut you off. Coming through Casino, he looks very, I don't know what the word is, very nervous about this track. Just from watching his onboards.
Well, to be fair, most drivers do not enjoy the streets of Monte Carlo. I can't speak for myself. I honestly, I really enjoy the track. Yellow flag, I believe that maybe Groggy and his wing going a little bit slower than normal, trying to keep it off the barriers. You see Chunky Snags. He's not too afraid of the barriers going through into turn 10, though. He's on a pretty tidy lap right now. If he can hold it the way it is, it could be in for the top 10 right now, going through the swim pool chicane. Now into the second part. This right here is a triple point you're going to watch out for in the race. The drivers could hit that right-hand side wall. Now into Rascasse for the final time for this flying lap. For the Williams, Chunky Snacks around into Anthony Nodes. He doesn't activate DRS immediately. That may be a little bit time lost, but how much does he got right now? P11 at 12.2.
And it's interesting right now is Heatwave in P8, who's retired, is still on those mediums. So if no one improves, which I'm sure they will, he will start in the top 10 on those medium compound tires.
Especially after retiring from the session in the Monaco Grand Prix on track. Well, thankfully, it's not going to be exactly like real life where we not have to worry about some gearbox or monocoque structure or damage or something like that because, well, Heatwave may not sit in P8 on the grid. But unfortunately, he has that luxury to, I guess, rack up and go again. We'll see how that works out. Right now, he is sitting P8 on those mediums. Like you mentioned, like I said earlier, it could be a very good or bad strategy. Now he's towards the back end of the grid. He was probably going to be on those tires regardless if he started outside the top 10. 3 drivers will not get a free choice of tire in this Grand Prix. Those drivers right now, as the moment, is George Groggy and Chunky. And everyone else in the top 10 can choose a free choice of tire for the Grand Prix. Well, by the looks of Heatwave's lap, by the way, I think it's going to be dry and sunny.
Yeah, I'm assuming no one else has ventured out on the mediums here. I can't say the same for Tier 4 when we had quali. very full wet qualifying and then a very dry race. Silva is on a lap as well, Catcher. I don't know if you've noticed, but he is 9 thousandths of a second, and he invalidates swimming pool.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be crucial to get that right. If you get it wrong, well, there's a lot of places to get it wrong. You can hit the barrier on the inside. You can turn in too early. You can have a little bit of snap of oversteer. The curb can catch you out and spin the car around. Or you can cut too much on that apex curve of turn 14, like Matt Silva did right there, and invalidate or grab a warning if it comes to in the race. Right now, everyone's starting to get back on track again. Yellow flag to Tabak. That actually may be the Alpine's teammate, Groggy Oregano. As our drivers are getting back on track. 2 minutes left in the session. This may be the do-or-die situation for these drivers at Monte Carlo. It's going to be an all-out push, knife's edge machinery on some of the best drivers, on some of the best, I guess, parts of the track, if you could say, because Monaco is really great. Oh, Grog hits the, Matt Silva hits the wall through at the hairpin. That's not going to help him in his case, because he's not going to have enough time to re-rack it, so he's going to have to hope this lap is either going to be good enough or P7 is good enough for him.
Yeah, on board with Botch Gerbil. He is 0.16 seconds up on his time with a purple sector 1. Can he challenge Wraith for pole position on this Monte Carlo circuit?
Well, it could be possible. You see Botch Gerbil right now has the upper hand on Wraith, because Wraith has not gone out of the pit lane. He needs to go out now if he wants a chance. Looks like there is a little bit of movement in the Red Bull garage right now if you look at the mini-map. So it could be close for him.
He's purple sector 2.
Yes, he is. It's going to go down to these final couple of corners. Can the Aston Martin of Gerbil grab pole position at Monaco? It's going to be a high honor, because Monaco qualifying is going to be the most important qualifying of the entire season. Well, the Aston Martin had a pretty important race a couple weeks ago. Can this go and step it up? No, it cannot. 9-9. A 10th off of Wraith and pole.
Stream coming through. He's going to go P3 with a 10-4, and I believe Masterplane is next. Oh, he is going into the pits, and I believe the next is going to be Chunky, who is going to almost death on a lap, who is 0.3 down on his time.
Behind him is going to be Holy Cow on the Mercedes right now. It looks, almost, I guess, obliterated, and does hit the wall for good nature on the swimming pool chicane, going through 14, 15, and 16 into 17. He will hit the barriers and come into the pit lane. Tone Lesteff's out of qualifying. Holy Cow's out of qualifying. Matt Silva, TTM Heatwave, Masterplane, all out of qualifying. Wraith is going to be a pretty good. Can he extend his pole? That's going to be one major factor for the Red Bull. He's had some pretty dominant performances in the first couple of weeks, but the last two has been a little bit lacking. Sweller's won the last two. Wraith has won the first two. Well, he wants to try to break that streak, and actually streak. And Sweller's starting P3, so right now it could be on the cards for the Red Bull. He just has to make sure. He didn't make it to the flag. Oh no. Well, Gerbil's out of qualifying. No Limit's out of qualifying. Sweller's on a flying lap. I don't think he's going to be fast enough. We'll have to see. No, he comes in the pit lane, so that will be him. Mozzie's going through into Marabou. Can the Alfa Romeo? It may not be Sweller's team, but can it be the other Alfa Romeo of Mozzie that grabbed pole at Monte Carlo? Chunky Snacks is on a lap. Let's see what he can do. I believe that is the yellow flag. I believe that actually Groggy crashing out through the swimming pool chicane.
Yeah, I'm on board with Mozzie at the moment, as Wraith was unable to make it to qualifying on my end, because he has the checkered flag next to his name.
Yes, he is done. He's out of qualifying, I believe.
Mozzie is 0.5 up on his time coming through swimming pool.
This could be a very big lap. He needs about a second if he can grab this pole position from Wraith. Like I said, it may not be Sweller's team in the championship leader, but could it be his teammate Mozzie? He's right now at 10.7. Can his Alfa Romeo go on the top step? And no, he cannot.
10.5.
Well, qualifying's already been an up and down roller coaster. Let's hope for the race to be the same thing. Right now through BRL Wraith, once again, I believe this is now his, third or fourth pole position so far in the season. Once again, trying to establish himself as an early championship favorite. Well, he has to go and finish ahead of Swiller's team, who's 16 points ahead of him. Right now, as it stands, he would be gaining 10 points. Well, that's not in factoring in fastest lap. Botch Gerbil will start in the middle of him. P2 for the Aston Martin Swiller's team. P3, Mozzie. P4, his teammate. It's going to be an all Alfa Romeo, row 2. No Limit's going to be P5, Masterplane. P6, Matt Silva. P7, TTM Heatwave will start on those medium compounded tire in P8. That's going to be crucial. He's going to have to do a reverse strategy of a medium to soft if he wants to make this work. How will the Alpha Taurine fare? Toneless Death will be P9. Holy cow, we'll round out the top 10. All those drivers will have to start on those compounded tire when it comes to the race. Chunky Snags, Ruggly Oregano, and George all have to start on a tire. They can either choose the soft, medium, or hards, but they have to use 2 of the 3 compounds if it's not a wet race. And right now, it looks like it's not.
I had to take a sip of water because I know this race is going to be action-packed.
Oh, it's going to be action-packed. If you look through the last couple of streams, Realistic was action-packed. We had a very, very unique race. Tier 3 was actually quite safety car free, but we had an up and down roller coaster for a lot of drivers and a lot of action around the grid. Tier 4 was all over the place once again. It looks like the sun is out, the skies are clear, and Monte Carlo is dry. So that is going to be a huge sigh of relief for some of these drivers who did not want it to rain.
Yeah, another thing too, this circuit is all, like I said earlier, it's not only a battle of attrition, but it's also, like I've been saying, who can keep it out of the wall and who can finish the race out of the 13 drivers who are guaranteed almost points if they finish this race.
Well, it all starts on that first stint. How do you succumb that first stint into the second stint? Well, a major factor of that is your tires you start on. We looked at the trusty friend, the race director. Right now, like I said, the top 10 have to start on those compounded tire. Everyone is on the soft compound except for TTM Heatwave in 8th. Chunky Snags, Groggy Oregano, and George are all starting 11th, 12th, and 13th on the medium compounded tire outside the top 10. So they're going to try to go in a reverse strategy, medium to soft. It has worked because the undercut is powerful. However, if you get stuck behind some of these drivers on the mediums, it could hold you up. Thus, you could make mistakes, you could have dirty air, hit the wall again, and these drivers could have a huge overcut. Well, let's see how that plays out tonight. The light comes out. Now we're going through the formation lap again. It's been a long time since I've here, but it's very enjoyable to commentate over the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship. BRL Wraith is trying to get that championship lead back. He's 16 points adrift in the last 2 rounds. Has not been something he would like to remember. Gerbil, though, he does like to remember the last 2 couple of rounds. He's had some pretty good finishes. Aston Martin starting P2, splitting the 2 championship rivals. Weller's Team starting 3rd. He's going to be directly behind the Red Bull of BRL Wraith, and that's going to be something he wants to try to get past Gerbil as quick as possible and try to go challenge Wraith for that championship win. And, I'm sorry, the Monaco Grand Prix victory, and if he can, try to damage limitation his points. Lost, or if he even can, beat Wrath and gain some points on the Red Bull driver. His teammate, though, is behind him. Will they have a little bit an Alfa Romeo team working battle going through the streets of Monte Carlo? Well, he's going to have to figure out who gets the better start of the Alfa Romeo bunch. No Limit, he's going to be, we already seen, he's aggressive. He's going to try to make anything happen. If there's going to be a driver to watch out for, it's going to be No Limit. How can he overtake around the streets of Monte Carlo, where it's been notoriously difficult? Keep an eye on that Papaya Orange McLaren. Master Plane, he's going to try to get a good finish here, but he needs to stay out of the barriers like Matt Silva, TTM Hitley, Toneless Death, and everyone in the Monaco Grand Prix. Right now, they need to keep their eye on the prize, is to finish after 39 laps. Matt Silva is included with that. Heatwave is going to be the first one on those mediums. He's going to have a completely different strategy than the rest. He's going to have to go long. Toneless Death, he's going to try to get back from 9th. He's going to try to get some more points, but 9th right now is not the best starting position. Holy cow, this is going to be the last one in the top 10. Chunky Snag's actually been disqualified from the... Oh, Groggy's actually spun through in the last cast. That's going to actually hurt and help his tires, by the way. It'll heat him up, but, well, wear him out a little bit more. And George will come up to the 13th grid spot, but we're actually going to watch the Alpine of Groggy Oregano. And I'm sorry I took up the entire formation lap. You'll get your chance eventually. We're going to watch the Alpine go and pull up to that the yellow line right there to mark his grid spot. And we now go from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. Eventually.
And here comes Alex.
Maybe.
As the lights are turning
The lights are on. The drivers are ready. The Monaco Grand Prix is welcoming arms with them, but the barriers are not. And it's lights out, and away we go here at Monaco. Bosch Gerbil, he gets a little bit of a better start. Oh, walks down to the second phase. Here comes Wellerstein. He's going to try to look for a move. Contact made. Into the barriers goes Bosch Gerbil. That's not what he needs. The opening stages of the Grand Prix. Right ahead is Wellerstein, ahead of No Limit. Matt Silva, side by side with Mozzie. Silva's going to go around the outside of Casino Square, ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Master Plane in P7. Right now trying to look at this, but his teammate Bosch Gerbil is going to have a little bit of a slower time because he has that front wing damage. Down the inside, by the way, Heatwave made a move down into Massenet, into Marabou. What a great move for the Alpha Tower. He's up to P7 again. He lost one position. He's now up a position, but watch out for that Aston Martin. His damage is going to be quite significant so far.
Yeah, visually, I'm not seeing damage on Bosch Gerbil's front wing as George has crashed on the start of the race. As No Limit, like you were saying, already up into P3 from P5.
I've been pretty correct as of late with choosing some predicted drivers to watch out for. If you remember China, I think I actually predicted all three to watch out for, and they all were pretty much proving their hand. No Limit right now up to P3, like you already said. He's about 1.2 off of Sweller's team in the Alfa Romeo. This is exactly what Sweller needs. Right now, Bosch Gerbil does indeed pit. That's what I thought would happen. Wraith grabs the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That's the first one down. 38 more to go. That's going to be a long time for some of these drivers. Bosch Gerbil wants it to end already, and it's only been one lap. Chucky Snags, he's going through and now going up to P11. Like you said, George Barrescio is up and out of the Grand Prix. It's been one lap, and we're already down from 13 to 12 runners in the Tier 2 Championship at Monte Carlo. Let's go with the gap to leader here, because that will already pretty much give a huge indication of how so far the field has been spread out a bit. Right now, you look at the closest battle between Toneless Death and Master Plane. That is the closest two on the track. 9/10 of a second separates those two. The gap between the first and second place is about 1.3 seconds, but the gap is kind of teetering on the edge of towards the favor of Sweller's team. How that works out right now, Limit has actually dropped it back a little bit from
Mozzie's going to look for a
in
move.
front of
He's
him.
going to tuck back into the Nouvelle Chicane. He was all over the back of Matt Silva coming into the tunnel section.
Right now, Mozzie is all on the back of Mount Silva. You're all right with this. He's looking for any possible chance of an overtake, and it's just not there through the middle and the final sector. He's just going to have to try to find a way around the Alpine. It's difficult, but it's possible. There has been overtake. Yellow flag,
That's
sector
Groggy.
3. Master Plane's in the pits as well.
Groggy has spun and he has lost his right end plate. No, that is his left end plate. Sorry, I was looking at it from a different camera angle.
Well, that's not the start. Groggy and the Alpine team wanted it as well. You see Matt Silva, though, up into P4. He's now under the pressure, though, still of Mozzie in the Alfa Romeo. If you don't look now, TTM Heatwave on those medium tires. Once again, it is becoming a threat. That's one of these guys have to watch out for, is how quickly will these mediums outrace and outpace the soft compound tires.
Yeah, just from my experience, Catcher, as
Mozzie's
going to look for a
goes to the
move.
inside. Silva went wide.
Oh,
Side by side through the tunnel, almost contact made.
But Silver's going to send it through the Nouvelle Chicane. Mozzie's got to check up for that. This is hurting Mozzie, but it's also helping Heatwave because he's preserving those medium tires.
Well,
Silver's going to get a penalty from it.
I think we may have an issue. I think No Limit has damage. 6.5 seconds adrift of Sweller's team ahead of him and actually losing time pretty quickly. Matt Silva's actually gone into the DRS range. He has DRS in the Alpine on that McLaren ahead of him. So does No Limit have damage? Is he just taking his time, biding his, saving his stuff?
You saw him lose the rear of the car coming up the hill to where Verstappen crashed, I think in 2016. I think he's just buying his time. I don't see any visual damage on No Limit's car.
He's understeering pretty rapidly, though, so it could be.
He's
I
gotta have some
think he has damage.
Yeah, he's gonna have some lime damage.
Well, either No Limit's going to have to try to pit now, or if he's going to have to try to suffer it out. But right now, he's lost significant amount of time to the car in front of him.
Mozzie's going to send it.
Alfa Romeo.
Oh, there's
contact with the wall.
Mozzie's going to lose his left end plate because of that.
Yeah, he has. Where's Heatwave going to go? Oh, side by side, that's not going to work. It somehow did. Wow, drama already. We have a couple guys with front wing damage. No Limit stays out. Mozzie's going to come in, though. He lost a significant amount of his front wing. Toneless is going to get past him up to 6th. Heatwave to 5th. Matt Silva to 4th, but 4/10 behind. No Limit in the McLaren. Like he said, we have some damage here with this McLaren. That's going to cause a little bit of a checkup. This train is going to get a little bit bigger. Toneless Death is going to be the next one to catch him because you can't overtake it, Monaco. Look at the pace difference between the Alpine and the McLaren there through into the Casino Square, down into Maribor. McLaren just has to take it easy, try not to lock up, and go straight into the barriers where Nico Rosberg did in qualifying. Look how wide he had to take the line. That's going to be contact with the Alpine. Looks like it's all good and all safe so far. No Limit stays in P3.
Yeah, No Limit does. I'm assuming you're right, Catcher, with him having damage, because he is just losing time lap after lap to Sweller Stream ahead. And he's going to get hit from Matt Silva behind.
Don't look now, but Heatwave's pressuring Silva more than Silva's pressuring No Limit. We could have a three-way fight here. Well,
four-way fight, and Silva's going to slide through the swimming pool.
It's the same thing. Oh,
No Limit's
pretty wide. Is it going to be an opportunity for anyone behind him? Heatwave has a little bit of a run. Is he going to make the move on the Alpine? Is the Alpine going to make a move on the McLaren? No, it's not. They're both just too far back. Toneless, like I said, is in this mix. Here comes Heatwave.
Whoa, no! Wonder if that was damage for Heatwave with that little contact. He's going to look for the inside. More contact.
Well, Heatwave didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time. He's going to go on the inside the third time. Contact into the barriers. Ah, that is not necessarily what needed to happen on all three occasions. Just both drivers being a little bit too aggressive. How much will that affect their race? No Limit just still there. He has significant amount of damage now, I think, because Heatwave has hit the wall a couple of times as well, and he's keeping up with No Limit. How much damage does the McLaren have? Look at the gap now. 16.7 seconds down the inside, down the Nouvelle chicane. Oh, they have to miss the corner. No Limit has the straight line and missed the corner. That's going to put now him back ahead of Heatwave, but I think, unless I'm wrong, Heatwave has significant amount of damage now. He now gets passed by Toneless into the swivel chicane, almost tiptoeing. Still side by side. Heatwave now locks up and misses the swivel chicane. Heatwave needs to pit, and Toneless Death is just biding his time. He's trying not to get damage here. Holy cow, they're on the outside. Look at that move on the Mercedes on the Alpine. Wow.
And look who caught back up to this is Botch Durbo back into P6.
Yes, he has.
And he's going to look for a move on the outside before turn 1. He's going to get it done.
Wow. Well, the mediums can last a significant distance. If he can stay out and avoid damage, he could go to the end of the Grand Prix here. Well, it's going to be difficult.
It's already lap 7, catch-up. And
yes,
the gap to third from Sweller
20 seconds.
Is 20.1 seconds. So No Limit is just losing time on this circuit right now.
Yes,
he's not only hurting himself, but he's hurting his tires by
Yeah.
staying out with this damage.
And not only his tires and himself, but the drivers behind him, because now there's only 2 drivers left in the contention for the win, and it's only lap 7. 21 seconds is the gap between Sweller and Wraith. By the way, Sweller has lost a significant amount of time to Wraith. He's lost about 3 seconds. No Limit is once again just trying to muscle his McLaren through the streets of Monte Carlo. Look at how slow he is through Tabac. Actually, he took it pretty well this time. Well, looks like we got to figure out what type of corners No Limit has a little bit of an issue through. Whoa, Toneless almost lost it.
Yeah,
through
No
16.
Limit. I just got on board with No Limit. He has an issue. He's boxing. This lap is Toneless is boxing, so Gerbil is P3.
Now, how does that happen then?
This is very strange. Just boxing lap 1 and now going to P3.
Well, Gerbil's having a very tipsy-turvy race, and it's only lap 8. He has a lot more to go. In fact, he has 32 laps. That is a very long time in Monaco standards. Right now, actually, he's pretty much the same amount of laps on his tires as the same as Chunky Snags, by the way, who started on those mediums. So he could do a reverse strategy, or he could try to pit with the rest of these guys, because I believe Bosch Gerbil started on the softs. He could do a medium yellow flag. I believe maybe groggy.
And that is.
How much damage does he have?
More
he has
damage.
no end plate again. Master Plane almost hit in the back of the Mercedes of Holy Cow, and with that he cut the corner trying to avoid the Mercedes. I caught the very back end of that, and it almost was a collision, like reminiscent of the 2018 crash between Charles Leclerc and Brendan Hartley. Well, Holy Cow right now looks like he's struggling as well. Does he have damage in the Mercedes? Yes, he does, I think. Oh, it looks like he may not. He just couldn't get the power down through in...
His plane's gonna
He's going to go for this. Look at the move.
Inside. He's going to get it done.
He misses the corner. Holy Cow is struggling majorly on those softs right now.
Yeah, when you were talking about that incident going into the Nouvelle chicane, Ketcha, it brought me back to 2019 with Lewis and Verstappen.
Well, a lot of these drivers are having a lot of incidents so far, and it's still a long way to go with this rate. How many will finish this race? You said it was going to be a race of attrition. Add Chunky Snags to that list. He just hit the wall coming out of the hairpin. But is he close enough for a move on Holy Cow here? That doesn't look like it. Will he send up the inside? No, he thought better of it this time. So right now, Holy Cow's completely missed the chicane. Come to a stop and let Chunky Snags by. Closest battle on track is actually going to be Toneless rear wing of Heatwave, and Heatwave is not alone with Toneless Death. No Limit's behind the Ferrari. Can No Limit, he did have damage. How much pace does he have left in that Papaya Orange McLaren? He's behind the Ferrari of Toneless Death. He's going to try and go for a move if possible, but Toneless Death is going to do the same thing and try on the AlphaTauri of Heatwave, who, by the way, went for the softs. Now he's back in the pit lane.
I'm wondering if Sweller Stream's soft tires are dying, Catcher, because 1 lap ago, might have been 2 laps ago, the gap behind to Botch Gerbil was 20 seconds. Now it is 16.5, so I'm wondering if Sweller's softs are dying or if he has damage, because he's also losing time to Wraith ahead.
You're all right with that, because this is actually the crossover point, I would think, for the mediums being a little bit quicker than the softs. This is probably around the range of where you want to pit. Right here, this lap, or lap 12.
And
so it could be a mix of both. Let's keep an eye on it. Does he have a front wing change? Because it could be a mix of both. I don't think he should be should have lost that much time.
I don't
to
see a
Wraith
wing
front.
ready at the Alfa
change?
Romeo camp. He's just getting new tires. He's going onto the mediums nice and early.
Yes. 3-second time penalty for Mozzie. That is now a couple of drivers. Let's go look at the penalties. For example, Master Plane with 3, Chunky with 3, Mozzie No Limit with 3, Matt Silva and Gargi Regano, both Alpines with 3-second time penalties as well. The closest drivers and the closest battle on track is going to be, once again, Tone in his battle with No Limit and the McLaren, who actually got past them a lap ago going into Saint-Devat. Holy Cow has boxed. He's now onto the medium compounded tires. He got off of those softs pretty quickly.
He's also getting a wing
the
change.
only driver. Is he? Yes, he is.
But this is interesting. 3 drivers, Silva, Heatwave, and Groggy, are all on those hards. As I saw Groggy almost hitting the back of Masterplane, and I didn't think he was ghosted, but he is. As Wraith is going to come into the pit, so he is going to come out just ahead of Botch Gerbil, I believe. Yep, Wraith coming in, hitting his marks, putting on those medium compound tires.
He'll be well ahead of the Aston Martin and Botch Gerbil. The pit delta here is around roughly 17-ish seconds. So there'll be about a 3-second buffer. You see going out of Anthony Nodes is the Aston Martin driver, and going now into turn 1 is the Red Bull. You can't even see him from the point of view of the Aston Martin driver. You can barely see him right now as you go up into the crest, going up through into the casino part of Monte Carlo. You see now up into Massenet, now into Marabou. 2.7 is the gap between the drivers. Now, how quickly can Wraith turn his tires on, heat him up,
in the pits
and get
again.
them to work? Whew. And Toneless Death as well.
And there is a wing for the Alfa Romeo camp and for the Ferrari camp.
This is not really what these drivers needed. You see one wing change once again for the Ferrari. Toneless Death is going to be out and away on the mediums. And he's going to be behind Mozzie. Behind him, though, Heatwave's boxed. He won on the hards, and he has some damage. I believe a front wing change is ready for him as well. He's going to go on the mediums as well. Yes, he is. Front wing has been damaged. Front wing is now replaced. Mediums on the car.
Ooh, catcher, look at this. Box Gerbil has caught up to Wraith. I wonder if Wraith has damages. He's going to
He
box
has.
again.
Oh no! So
That is
from
another set of
Gerbil,
mediums and another wing change for the Red Bull camper. The first wing change for this Red Bull camp.
But I'm baffled. Botch Gerbil had damage on lap 1 and has come back to lead the race 12 laps later.
I will pay $5 to anyone who bet on this happening. I will PayPal you right now.
Well, speaking of betting, once again, I said it in qualifying. There's a lot of casinos here. A lot of drivers may need a little bit of luck. I think Gerbil has cashed in, and he's going to make a fortune if he can keep this tire strat up. But remember, Sweller, though, he is going to be the next car in line, who actually I think he may have just hit the barriers there going through Portier. But Sweller is going to be on fresh medium, so if he can keep it out of the barriers, he can make it to the end.
Heatwave's also struggling on these new mediums. Excuse me. Who is ahead of Swellerstein being blue flagged, as this track is very hard and very difficult to overtake, and especially if it's a blue flag driver. Yeah, all these guys need to do is just log laps, as Wraith is going to get past Chunky Snags. Yeah, Heatwave's
Chunky
just
have damage.
I don't see any visual wing damage for Chunky.
Yellow flag. It's out of the race, Heatwave.
Wraith is going to pick up a time penalty.
Oh, that's crucial. Mozzie gets past Holy Cow. Battle for 8th. And by the way, Port said you can PayPal him now.
Did someone actually bet on this?
I'm not sure. We need to fact check that. Someone get his lottery ticket in.
Someone get this lottery ticket and cash it in.
Well, you know.
But yeah, both Aston Martins boxing on laps 1 and 2, now running lap 14 first and third. These guys need to log laps, keep it out of the wall, box for softs, and they'll have this race come back to them.
Yes, they will. Because, I mean, look at that gap between Masterplane and Wraith. Because at the moment, Botch Gerbil can come out ahead of Wraith. He'll be in P3.
It's going to be
he quits
tight,
again
but
for another
yes.
set of softs.
It's going to be tight, but
he'll
he
be not
will.
tight at all. Not tight at all. I mean, that's what, 22 seconds. The gap to leader. Yep, that's 22.9. You need about a 17-second gap. Sweller's just the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but actually loses time, I think, to Botch Gerbil. So how much is Botch Gerbil pushing on those 13-lap-old mediums?
I can't quick math. That's why I said it might be tight. Anyways, yeah, Sweller's losing a lot of time. I think the rear of the car is just not sticking for him on exit, and I could be wrong, as Holy Cow picks up a time penalty.
Well, this has been basically the time penalty Grand Prix more than the... actually, it's both the wing change and the time penalty Grand Prix, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Only drivers without a time penalties, Gerbil and Toneless.
I did this race last night. I started lap 1 with my wheel, instantly unplugged it because it was giving me force feedback issues, and I just raced 37 laps on my controller. I'm like, I'm going to finish the race, I'm going to get a point, and I'm going to walk away happy. And that's exactly what I did. Side note, we're not going to do it again.
Well, let's hope for some of these drivers. Right now, as of right now, only one driver will not grab points. At the moment, Gregory Regano, P11, 41 seconds off of Toneless Death, is going to be that one driver, which is unfortunate, but everyone else is going to be set to grab at least 1 point in the championship. And, well, there's some drivers that may need a little bit of help with their strategy going on. Matt Silva and the Alpine 8-lap hold hards. You have Chunky Snags, who's yet
Chunky
to pit.
just lost his wing.
Okay, well, speaking of him.
I just caught the end of that. He come out of the Nouvelle chicane into that left-hander, and I'm assuming the rear of the car just snapped on him, and he's lost his whole wing.
Well, I said a lot of these guys may need a little bit of luck. Looks like Chunky's may have ran out. He may have to stop again this time. He may actually go to the hards or another set of medium. I don't think he can go to another set of medium. He has to go to the softs because he started on the medium compounded tire. He started outside the top 10.
He is
Matt
on
Silva
the
and
soft
Mozzie
compound
both.
tires.
Yes, he is. Matt Silva and Mozzie have both been promoted to 6th and 7th respectively. They're within DRS of each other. Mozzie is actually the closest car on track to another one, which is kind of I guess, Monaco-esque to say. Matt Silva is ahead of him on those hards. He's been on him about 5 laps longer than Mozzie. So on top of the, I guess, fresher tires, he has softer tires, the C4 compared to the C3. So these mediums are going to be quicker, and they're going to be a lot fresher, and they're going to be a lot easier to handle compared to the hards of Matt Silva's right now.
Yeah,
Portier
Wraith is
looks
pushing
kind of better.
like a madman. He was 9 seconds 2 laps ago as he sets another fastest lap. Now he's down to 6.6.
That was close with Matt Silva right there, by the way, almost hitting the barriers. Another fastest lap. Let's go take a look at the fastest lap. Right now, BRL Wraith, 11.9. You said he's pushing like a madman. That lap proves it. It's about a second, almost, actually, I'm sorry, about 4/10 faster, almost half a second faster than Sweller's team, who is his next, I guess, closest rival, if you may, the fastest lap comparison. Well, Mozzie's right there next to Matt Silva. He went a little bit wide in the entry, but he's going to get a good run. Slingshot with the DRS and the ERS, the Alfa Romeo. He's going to go for the move. Alpine goes defensive to the left-hand side. Just not enough space in the Sandoval.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's also tight to pass around the circuit, especially if it's a blue flag. It's not about being quick at this circuit. It's just about keeping it out of the walls and bringing the car home in one piece. That's what these guys need to do, and what most of them have done for the most part after their pit stops.
Speaking of the pit stops, there's Masterplane. That was actually the most perfect timing I've ever seen in my life. He now comes into pit. I believe he has gotten some damage. He'll come out behind BRL Wraith, but he'll be clear of No Limit. But meanwhile, in the tunnel, here comes Mozzie and Matt Silva. He's trying to go for the move. Matt Silva goes a little bit defensive and covers that move off before it even starts. Yellow flag. I believe that actually may be another car off. Was it Groggy this time?
It is Groggy again, who is gonna box, and he's missing his wing again.
Oh, I think that was either wing damage from another car or Matt Silva just lost his front wing. No, it had to have been wing damage from the car. Matt Silva's still going on. Yes, he is. It looks like his teammate's wing kind of flew up into the camera, which is a little unsettling. But here we go again. Mozzie will try it once again with DRS. With ERS, is he close enough this time? He's actually farther back than last time. He still looked for that move. Just wasn't going to happen. Oh, Matt Silva actually almost lost the car mid through Casino Square into Massenet. So that's going to keep, I guess, him on his toes. Mozzie looking for a move later on the brakes. Oh, actually scares him off the road. Matt Silva goes up too deep, side by side in the hairpin. They're going to go for this. Matt Silva has to cut the corner, and that's going to give him a time penalty. But Mozzie around the outside of the hairpin. What a move there. Yellow flag. Limit. He spun round. It may have hit the curb on the apex of turn 10. That's going to spin the McLaren around, and now behind Masterplane, who actually went on the hards. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't think he had another set of mediums to go on to. Actually, yes, he did. He started on the softs. As he's going to pit again.
Was there contact between the McLaren and the Aston Martin? Did they come together?
They are both pitting for a new wing, both going back onto mediums.
It had to have been something like that then. Did Masterplane clip No Limit around? Did No Limit kind of reverse back on track or come on track in an unsafely manner? We have no idea. Yellow flag again. And that, I think,
is the one and only Groggy Oregano.
You know what? I'm not going to say it. The next time it happens, you'll know exactly what I'm thinking.
I hate to laugh at Groggy. He's such a good guy. It's just, this circuit is tough, as
it is.
Gerbil is going to lap his teammate in P8, or at least attempt to. As right now, Gerbil is ghosting through his teammate, who is also having No Limit. The McLaren goes through him. I can't believe what my eyes are watching right now.
What is this?
Masterplane finally lets Gerbil go, as No Limit's going to look for a move. He's going to send it!
Oh, Thankfully he's ghosted, or that would have been a colossal collision.
That was a questionable send, if you ask me. That was all 4 wheels off the circuit. From No Limit, who is still ghosted on my end, but he is also too close to watch Gerbil.
Yes, that's why he's also going to be. Master Plane is still ghosted as well, meaning both these drivers are not going to be able to, I guess, race each other with, I guess, most caution. There we go. Gerbil, actually, Master Plane is now unghosted, but the limit is still not unghosted yet. He's still there. He goes. So now he is now back and into the race himself. Toneless Death is going to be the closest car on track to Holy Cow, but he's closing up on the back of Matt Silva in the Alpine. Could we see a three-way battle going again? Master Plane's actually even closer this time to the McLaren.
Whoa! No Limit's going to lose the rear coming into the casino hairpin.
These drivers are hoping they can get unghosted. There's one, there's two. There we go. They can fight. Now, how much of a better exit did Master Plane have than No Limit? He's on the button. He's on the slipstream. He's getting to the left-hand side. No Limit's going to block it. He's still going to go down the inside. He's missed the corner completely. He straight-lined the corner and is going to give a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining a position. No Limit's now going to be behind him, who hits the wall not once, but twice. Now, No Limit's going to have a warning from that corner cut and that one. And now into the wall. He just had. Oh, he hit it again. Oh, is that out of the race? I'm surprised he's not out of the race from that one. That's a lot of stress and, I guess, contact on that front wing and those tires. So, kudos to McLaren for keeping it on right. But look at this. Toneless Death and Holy Cow, they've gotten even closer. 3/10 separate these two.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping my eye on, or trying to keep my eye on Botch Gerbil and Wraith, as the gap between, that's not the one I want, the gap between them is 18.1 seconds.
Between Wraith and Botch Gerbil. Yes, it is. That's going to be, once again, a clear margin to get out in front if it were to stop now, which is going to be towards the laps. Laps are counting down before he could possibly stop onto those softs and make it happen. By the way, go look at the gap between the leader and P4.
Yes.
There is a chance Gerbil can lap up to 4th.
I know in the Tier 4 race, and I don't know if you've noticed, knew how many people P1 lapped in the Tier 3 race, but in the Tier 4 race, P1 lapped up to P5.
Wow.
Also, I have to give
That's not
credit
good.
to the two drivers on circuit right now with no penalties.
We're on board with one of them, Toneless Death, and the other one is Botch Gerbil, who is leading the Grand Prix. He once again is about 3.5 seconds ahead of Sweller's team, who actually will inherit the race lead. And, well, Toneless has now just been ghosted. Same with Holy Cow, because look behind him, as we now hear the Jaws theme creeping in from somewhere. Hopefully no copyright. Okay, fine. How about this? Let's do the predatory shark theme.
I'm over here laughing, trying not to make a noise as you were saying that whole sentence. I'm like, don't do it.
Oh, actually, look at this. Master Plane is inside his teammate.
This is PG, folks.
No, Aston Martin is trying an 8-wheeled 2-driver car.
Yes.
It's a prototype for 2025.
Ooh, 2025.
Yes.
That would be
The
interesting.
new regulations.
That would be interesting, though, if you ask me. Holy Cow is in the pits. Is he boxing for a new wing? As he is, he's going back onto another set of mediums.
Well, with this, I actually kind of hurt Gerbil a tiny bit. He lost about 1/10 and a half to Sweller's team in the Alfa Romeo, and actually losing a little bit more time. Wraith has gained a significant amount on Botch Gerbil, about 4/10, 5/10 the last lap or so. And yellow flag.
That is No Limit
And
out.
actually, he's out of the race. There's going to be a safety car. No, it's not.
That is the same
Surprising.
corner where... Oh, that is a hard wreck.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, Gronky.
We both thought we were just like, oh, okay.
All right.
As Master Plane is going to get past Matt Silva. Wonder
It's
if
not
that
done
was
yet.
just
Thomas
because
is
of the
behind him.
ghosting.
It could have been.
How many more laps is Botch Gerbil going to do on these mediums before he comes in and puts on the softs?
As many as they can. I mean, to be honest, it could probably make the entire race.
Well, he's
I'm hitting
losing
from lap
time.
6.
to Wraith. So it's now 15-7 to Wraith behind in P3.
Yeah, right now, he would be behind Wraith, so I don't think he should pit. If he can try and go the entire way, he should. Well, team, I think, just hit the wall. He tried to go in the, actually, through the ghost of the car of Matt Silva, and may have just hit the wall. He's lost significant time about it. Look at that, 4.3, 4.4. As it stands, if Gerbil can make it to the end of the Grand Prix, he should.
Right, also another thing that's probably going through Gerbil's head is not to pick up a penalty.
That's another one. Groggy's now gotten up into the top 10. He is now past No Limit and will grab that 1 point and actually goes and
And he will
stops
box
the pit lane for a
again
good rather.
for the 5th
Medium.
time.
Yes!
Oh, sorry, that is his 4th pit. 4th stop. I believe. Nope, that is his 5th. Can confirm.
Well, the mini pit stops at Monaco, regardless, it doesn't matter how many times you pit as long as you finish the race. And that's something that Groggy right now has something, I guess, an advantage over No Limit, TTM Heatwave, and George. Right now, we have lost actually all 3 of those drivers. No Limit was a crash. TTM Heatwave was, I believe, a crash in the pit lane. And George Barusha, that's a yellow flag. Is that Groggy? No? I don't know, actually.
Random yellow
not sure
flag?
if it is or
Question mark?
That's what I'm thinking, because I don't think Groggy did anything this time.
No, I wonder
Poor
if that
guy.
was just like a random yellow that the game just threw. Just like, haha.
It could have. It's Monaco. Jump scare. October. Boo.
Not October 31st yet, Catcher. We're not there yet.
It's Spooktober. We'll get over it.
Yeah,
Right now, look at
we'll get
Toneless
over it
Death.
soon enough.
Toneless Death is close to the back of Mount Silva. He got a better run. He has the ERS, has the slipstream. Can he go for this move? He's just too far back. Had to lift off in the middle of the tunnel. Not enough space. Mount Silva locks up. Actually goes over the chicane curb. And that's going to have to force Toneless to kind of check up a bit and stop. So we have a little bit of a break in the action. Let's kind of plug and play as Matt Silva almost loses the car through turn 16. If you're, oh, actually he loses the car through 17 as well. Toneless Death will get past Matt Silva, and he actually stays out as well. Matt Silva will be P17 behind the Ferrari of Toneless Death, but don't look now. Here comes Wraith behind him, and it's not for position. Wraith is P3, and Matt Silva is in P7 as a blue flag condition for the Alpine, who actually hits the wall again. And that one, yes, that is a no end plate on the left side. That's going to be a trip to the pit lane and a virtue off those hards. Actually, the entire front wing's now gone from the Alpine. Alpine's just not having a good day today. Well, actually, now we have the break I was talking about. Let's go on board with Bosch Turbo. And we'll have a little bit of plug and play. If you're new to the Breakout Racing League, welcome along. It's good to have you. And you probably chose the best and the worst race to tune into. It's the best because it's been the most chaotic, but the worst because it's not been the most, I guess, race-centered. Well, regardless, it's good to have you. You can tune in to Tier 1 in about an hour time, actually, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to watch the Tier 1 circuit around the streets of Monte Carlo. But if you don't like F1 racing, which we have on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, with the exception of F2 on Wednesdays, you could tune in on Sunday to ACC. Now, sources can confirm, wink, wink, under the table kind of message thing. We may have a little bit more fun in ACC. More news on that tomorrow. You may have a little bit of surprise when the Breakout Racing League goes live the next time tomorrow for the ACC Championship. Matt Silva does indeed pit. But if you're returning and you're a returning viewer of the Breakout Racing League, once again, it's good to have you, good to tune in. And so far, what do you think of the race? Go tune in the chat. We love to see. So far, I've been watching the chat a little bit, seeing the conversations, and I love it. Seeing the comments, having some fun down there. Well, what do you think of the race? How do you think the etiquette's been? How do you think the drama's been? Right now, look at this. The Aston Martin pairing is still going for that 8 car. The 8-tired car prototype for 2025. It's been working out apparently. A rear gunner. That's what Masterplane's been. Too bad he's ghosted. He's a stupid overtake. Oh, we almost lost the car. So, yeah, like I said, glad to have you and glad to tune in. What do you think about the race? And let's put in the chat. Let's have a chat below. A little bit of a conversation. Who do you think is going to be the podium? Is going to be Bosch Gerbil? Will he hold on? Swellersteam, he's 4.8 and dropping back. He may have some damage. Can he get on the podium? BRL Wraith, he's about, 40 or so seconds ahead of Mozzie. Will that be the podium? Will it be Gerbil, Swellersteam, Wraith, or will someone else play a factor in the rest of the Grand Prix? We have 11 laps to go.
I didn't make any popcorn for this race.
There you go. I was about to say, it seems like my Cocom left to go make popcorn or something. You getting hungry?
I was just thinking about that. Like, man, I should have made some popcorn for this race to bring up here at the booth.
Well, some traditions never die. If you have been watching at least my streams for a while, back from Tier 4 a couple seasons ago when my first stream happened, we always have call the race director, the trusty friend of the race director. It's kind of a common saying. Well, another common saying we had with, actually, ironically, he's in the chat now, Ritzy. Hello, my brother. How you doing? We always used to bring snacks and joke about it in the commentary booth, how we'd always need to bring some snacks for the race. Well, looks like we may need them now. Chucky Snag grabs into the pits, and he's going to go off those softs under the other set. Meanwhile, Aston Martin are once again having a little bit of fun, having that, I guess you could either say their parade lap or their prototype session testing for a certified F1 bobsled. That's coming to a circuit near you in 2025.
Well, also, Master Plane's mediums are 18 laps old, younger than Botch Gerbil's 28 lap old mediums.
That shows the pace, really, that Gerbil's been holding right now in that Aston Martin. He's been on those tires ever since, lap 1?
The end of lap 1, lap 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And
incredible pace right now. It's really consistent.
Yeah. And Mozzie, Swellerstream is just kind of keeping a steady gap to Gerbil, as Wraith is, honestly, I think Wraith is pushing. So Wraith is
really
2 lap younger mediums than Swellerstream, and Swellerstream has 11 lap younger mediums than Gerbil. Is Swellerstream just at the wall?
Oh no!
I don't see any visual damage. He's gonna stay
He stays out regardless.
Yeah, look at the time loss.
The time increasing. Yeah. 5 seconds, 5.5 now to first place, and actually now just under 5 seconds to the car in third. This man, BRL Wraith, right now these two, Swellersteam, BRL Wraith, are the championship contenders, the championship rivals. Wraith won the first 2 Grand Prix, Sweller won the next 2. Well, right now the gap between first and second is 16 points, and as it stands, another 3 points will go towards the Alfa Romeo, making a gap of 19 going into Azerbaijan. Yes, the streak of street circuits continue. We're going to go next week at the streets of Baku. It's going to be a fun Grand Prix. It's going to be quite the opposite of this one. You have DRS and long straights for miles almost, as it seems, and it's going to be a lot of overtaking and a lot of fun with the street circuit kind of nature. We can even have a little bit of Monaco coming with us in the castle section. Well, that's going to be a fun time. We'll see how that plays out in every tier, but most specifically the Tier 2 Championship. Right now, as it stands, Wraith is coming even faster. About 3 seconds now, 2.5, just by a couple corners. Wraith is either pushing like a madman, or Sweller has some severe damage.
Oh, he's going to go a bit deep into the final corner. Is Sweller.
Who was your prediction, Axe? Oh, wait, I know what your prediction was. We had a little bit of predictions in the chat. If you don't want to participate, that's completely okay. We love to watch the racing too, but if you want to participate, come tell us who do you think will be on the podium. Well, a certain someone, Axe F1, said that P2 and P3 will take each other out and Mozzie will grab a podium. Is that going to be true? Will that happen? Well, there's about 8 laps or so to do that. 9.5 is the gap between Gerbil and Sweller. It looks like Gerbil may try to stretch this. If he can, well, it may work out to his favor. Right now, Wraith and Sweller is now going to be in a tight battle. Sweller's going to have to try to defend with all his might here. Looks like Wraith is not going to be on the button. He's not going to go for this move unless he's absolutely necessary. No, he looks for it. And Sweller stays on. He actually grabs a 3-second time penalty. I didn't think of that. Penalties are going to be a big thing as well. 6 seconds to Sweller, 3 to Wraith, 3 to Mozzie, 14 seconds to Master Plane. Well, thankfully, he has a 20-second gap to Toneless and P6. Holy cow, P7 with 3 seconds. Matt Silva with P9 with 9 seconds of time penalties in P8, and Chunky Snacks has 3 seconds in P9, with Groggy with 12 seconds in P10. Well, Sweller's team does come into the box.
And that is a front wing, I believe. Yep.
Well, he's going to come out safely ahead of his teammate Mozzie. You see Mozzie's going through Portier. Sweller's team's coming to the pit lane. That's going to be easy. And with those softs as well, unless someone else does the same kind of strategy, he has the shot to go for that fastest lap point. Right now, as it stands, he could grab that, take it away, and make the gap lost to Wraith 2 points. Because Wraith will grab 18, and if he can grab the fastest lap, Sweller will grab 16.
Now, the question is, with, I believe, 7 laps to go, how much can Wraith close this gap in to Botch Turbo?
It depends, really, because, 20-lap-old mediums, it's going to be huge of how much grip is left. Go look at the tires. You don't see any graining yet on the Red Bull's tires, but go look at the Aston Martin. You actually don't see any graining either. So right now it looks like the tires are pretty healthy for Botch Turbo. He's been saving them, kind of, I guess, minding his own business, minding his own time, and keeping those tires alive. Well, if BRL Wraith wants to push, remember, he's been pushing the entire time. How much grip does he have left? And we've seen pushing makes mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, that's going to happen through Raras Cass. What happened there?
That is Chunky. I believe he just went deep into the final corner.
Well, that doesn't help him out at all. Meanwhile, you see Matt Silva's been lapped by Botch Turbo. Like we said, Botch Turbo, he's been biding his own time. And go look at the gap now. 14.4 seconds. Does Wraith have a bit of damage? Well, if he can get 17 seconds behind the leader, Gerbil could pit for softs. And that could be a very big beneficiary for him. But does he want to?
Oh, I thought Wraith had wing damage, but it's just the way his wing was coming at me from the camera angle the game gave me.
Well, we had some long, I guess, seeking strategies. I'm not sure about any in Tier 4, but I can definitely speak for myself in Tier 3 because I was the one doing it. I pitted lap 6 and tried to extend the entire medium stint from 6 on. It worked. Well, Gerbil's going to take that cake right off of my mantle. He's now pitted from, remember, the end of lap 1 onto lap 2 onto those mediums. He's taken them so far 33 laps. He has 5 more laps to go. If he can take it, he would take those tires 38 laps. That's incredible.
Yeah, and Mozzie behind is on 22 lap old mediums as well. And Toneless Death is the same thing, as Holy Cow is going to get a new front wing and new tires.
Sweller's been pushing those fastest lap. Does he get it? He has no battery. Yes, he does. 11.8. Which actually isn't too far off of the old fastest lap. Look at 11.906. That was set by Wraith on those mediums. Holy Cow is boxed for the fastest lap. Gerbil has a time penalty.
I don't think that's really going to affect him, as he's actually increased that gap to Wraith.
Yeah, he has 16.4. Wraith may either have no tire left or he may have some damage of his own. Well, let's go look at the position gained right now. Down 4 positions, Heatwave and No Limit. They are out of the Grand Prix along with George, who started that position down in 13th. We lost him at the end of the first lap. Heatwave lost him in the pit lane, and No Limit, we lost him at Raras Cass. Groggy Oregano P10, he's gone up 2 positions. He started 12th. Chunky Snack started 11th. He's up 2 positions. Matt Silva started 7th. He's down 1 in 8th. Holy Cow started 10th. He's up to 7th. Toneless Death started 9th. He's up to 6th. Master Plane started 6th. He's up to 1st. Mozzie, Sweller's team have not moved. The Alfa Romeo pairing have stayed in 3rd and 4th. Not the entire race, but I guess as it stands, they have not moved according to the graphic. BRL Wraith is down 1 position from pole. Botch Turbo has gone up 1 position from 2nd place, from, I guess you could say, co-pole if you really want to. Because front row at Monaco, it doesn't matter if you're 1st or 2nd. It's still a huge beneficiary to be on that front row. Which actually, as it stands, Wraith may almost be out. Yellow flag. Is that Chunky?
That is for Chunky, yeah.
Oh, he's completely bottled it at the end of Anthony Nodes. He may have actually been, he is actually perpendicular to the track going through turn 18 into 19. I'm not sure if he has front wing damage. He did hit the barrier with his rear wing, so how much will that affect him? We'll have to figure that one out in a few moments' time. Well, I guess we have much interest for the tires. Let's go look at the intervals here. 17 seconds. That's the gap that Gerbil wants to see. That is enough to pit and come out in front of Wraith, but he has only 3 laps to go. Does he risk that? Because a lot can happen if he pits for those softs. The tires may not feel the same as these mediums. Remember, he's been on them for the surplus and the, I guess, for the excess of 35-ish laps. So that's going to be a huge difference from those mediums to the softs. You can see, look at the graining on those left front, especially go through as he turns through into turn 6 into 7, through into Maribor, now into Portier. You can see the graining already on those tires. He's been on them for the entire race, basically. And it's a big risk to have because you can hit the wall going into the pit lane. You can hit the wall coming out of the pit lane. You can grab a time penalty coming out of the pit lane. Yellow flag. Is that Chucky Snacks? He's out of the race in P9. Oh, big crash in the exit of Tabak. Well, good. Actually, one big beneficiary here, as Masterplane gets past Mozzie for 4th, is going to be Bosch Gerbil, as he cannot lose any of this big gap because the safety car cannot be pulled in. The limit is passed, and now we're going to go 2 laps to go here in Monaco. I do remember, I believe it was, I can't remember if it was Portugal. I think it was Portugal. I don't know, it was a week ago in Spain. I actually credited Gerbil as getting his best finish, not only for himself, but for Aston Martin. If he can hold on for another about 25-ish corners, he can grab not only Aston Martin's first career win, his first career win in Tier 2.
I'm wondering if Wraith does have damage, because he is dropping time to Swellerstream behind. Not rapidly, but you can definitely see the time dropping between him and Swellerstream.
He may, because I mean, look at the gap from Wraith to Gerbil. I mean, I know Wraith was pushing, but he shouldn't be losing that much time to Gerbil on this old of tire. Well, regardless of the old or the tire's age, that's not going to help Swellerstein, by the way, because now that's now his 9th second of time penalties. He's not going to be really under pressure for Masterplane behind him, but Masterplane is going to be under pressure for Mozzie. He has 14 seconds, but the other Aston Martin is not going to be under pressure at all. We now enter on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Aston Martin, Bosch Gerbil, 19 corners, now 18. He has to negotiate them all. Silva pits in 8th. He actually won last week. Okay, well then correction. It was Portimao that he got his best finish.
Yeah, I had missed the race last week because I was actually out watching a movie.
I was in Charlotte and in
Yeah. Rub it in, show off.
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just giving myself an alibi. Shut up, you.
No, you get no alibis.
Well, speaking of alibi, it's fitting. I guess you could say 007 strikes again. He won a week ago, Gerbil, in the Aston Martin in Spain. Well, now you come to the most prestigious part of not only, I guess, Formula One, but in most cases, the world. It is nothing but money, but casinos, but rich hotels, and a lot of precious diamonds. This is a perfect place for a spy to be. It's fitting that Aston Martin will come around the final corner, and Anthony Nodes and Bosch Gerbil and Aston Martin, they both will come home. He won for the 2nd race in a row. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
He did 38 laps on those medium compound tires.
That's incredible. That is absolutely amazing. BRL Wraith, I never really touched on it, but the White Bull as it is, he comes home in a one-off special livery for Japan in P2 for the Monaco Grand Prix, and will actually gain a bit of time on Sweller's team and actually gain a bit of points on his championship rival. To be exact, that point gain will be 2. BRL Wraith has 18, Sweller's team has 16. That'll be the gap to 14 points going into Baku. Masterplane, the other Aston Martin, he's going to probably come home as it stands right now in P4, ahead of Mozzie in P5. But look at the penalties. That's going to be one thing to look at. 14 seconds between those two drivers, and 7.6 is the gap. So that is going to be Mozzie ahead of Masterplane.
Oh, he's going to clip the wall for good measure.
Yellow flag. Oh, he spins around. Well, unfortunately, he was going to finish 5th regardless. Mozzie passes about the line and grabs 4th for Aston Martin. and I'm sorry, for Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin comes home 5th. Driver of the day goes to Toneless Death. Remember, he started down in 9th position, and with a couple of, I guess, lucky overtakes due to drivers having to come into the pit lane, and the virtue of Monaco itself being a chaotic race, comes home to driver of the day. But once again, last week, he did it in Spain. He'll do it in Monaco. 007 and Aston Martin and Botch Gerbil, I guess you could all put in on 3, wins the Monaco Grand Prix. And he'll be in the swimming pool later today. Well, it's been a double Canadian podium, if you didn't know. First and third were all Canadians with the Colombian BRL Wraith in P2. Well, like I said, the gap at the top comes down. The Wraith grabs 2 points closer to the championship lead. As well as team's gap is only 14 points. Gerbil wins with Aston Martin in the Monaco Grand Prix. Wraith comes P2, Sweller P3, ahead of his teammate Mozzie. Ironically, both Alfa Romeos started 3rd and 4th. They finished 3rd and 4th. Masterplane in the Aston Martin. He started 6th. He finished 5th. He comes home behind both Aston Martins, but ahead of the Ferrari of Toneless. He grabs driver of the day in P6. Holy Cow grabs 7th with Matt Silva and Groggy Oregano. Both points finishes for both Alpines. Great day. Even though Groggy really didn't have the best of days from his own standards, he'll grab 2 points to his name. That's called determination, and that's the best thing you could have as a driver. Chunky Snags rounds out the top 10, but we lost him. No Limit, TTM Heatwave, and George Baraccio all in this Grand Prix. It's Ecuador? Okay, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I guess I had my own, what's his name? Echo moment from a season ago. If you don't remember that, actually, a season ago in Austria, Echo called a couple of Mexicans Italians. That didn't bode well. I guess I have, it's gone full circle, as I called Wraith Colombian. Well, he was Ecuadorian. Well, I guess that's funny. If we can get the rest of them in, I don't know if we can get Wraith in. Can we get, I know Swiller won't be able to join.
I believe we do have everybody.
Do we have
Gerbil and Wraith.
Yep, we do. Right, I didn't see Wraith join. So, Swiller's team will not be able to join us today, but he will grab P3 in the Alfa Romeo. The gap up top will come down, even though he tried his absolute best. Well, the guy in second, though, will go to you, and actually, this will be where I headed off to Redeemer. Take it away.
Yeah, Wraith, well done. I know starting pole. You know, walk us through qualifying in the race. I know you had to box for a wing once and then another set of mediums. You know, what was going through your mind through the whole race? And congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, qualifying my first lap that I set, I saw it and I was really happy because it was just like a really good lap and it was my first lap, so that took like a lot of stress off my shoulders, I guess. And you know, trying to set a good lap around Monaco, and then what is it called? So then yeah, I ended up grabbing pole position from that, and then during the race, I saw I had a pace advantage, so I just tried to use my pace to pull away, but yeah, I went to pit, and when I came out, I was just trying to extend my gap, but at the same time be careful and not getting, you know, damaged. But you know, of course, on my out lap I got damaged, so you know, I had to go back in pit. I had really no choice, so then you know, I stuck on a new wing and changed to a new set of mediums, and yeah, I was definitely not confident in, you know, getting a win or even second in the race, but you know, I just, you know, got my head down and tried my best, and just I saw that the more time, the more as like the race went on, I was gaining a lot of time, so I was like, you know, might as well just go for it, and if I mess up, I mess up, but I'm just, you know, gonna drive the wheels off the Red Bull. And yeah, it was good to see the new livery get on the podium, but yeah, ended up coming home P2, and Yeah, it definitely was stressful.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, Monaco is a battle of attrition, and who can pit less times and just keep it out of the walls, and just keep the penalties minimum and not pit as much for a new wing. Um, you did that once, and you really kept it out of the walls afterwards. Picking up, I think it was one penalty. Um, so really well done to you. And again, congratulations, and I'll send it to Katra with botched gerbil.
Yep. So, well, I guess Monaco is fitting, isn't it, for an Aston Martin to win? You won a week ago in Spain, and with the hype around 007 happening at Turkey and the White Bull happening at Turkey as well, I guess it's fitting that the top two cars had, those two stories around them. Well, Monaco, it's the street circuit that everyone wants to win. It's the most difficult, it's the most rewarding, and it's also the most fun, but I don't know, everyone doesn't really think the same as me, but let's think about it from your point of view. Was it fun out there? You took the tires 38 laps. That's incredible.
Yeah, I had an awesome time out there. Never wanted to leave those mediums. As soon as I got on them, I think lap 2, they felt amazing, and they lasted for so long. I was just amazed. Even at the end, they were still putting in good laps. So, yeah, it was tough keeping out of the wall for 38 laps, but nonetheless, really fun race to do. Be better if I didn't get pushed into the wall first corner, but still happy I was able to get back into B1 there.
Well, you happened to get back there, and it actually seemed pretty quick because we were kind of surprised. All of a sudden, you're up to 4th, you're to 3rd, then you're to 2nd. Everyone's pitting around you. Why are you not going off as well? It looks like their consistency definitely came in handy, as I actually forgot to... Don't forget. All right, so once again, your consistency came in handy. Well, that's going to help you a week from now because, well, it's Baku, street circuit again. It's going to be some fun time and some fun racing. And Azerbaijan has always been a great race, not only in Tier 2, but in Formula 1 itself. What do you think your chances are in winning in the streets of Baku like you did the streets of Monaco?
Yeah, pretty good pace around Baku. Again, it's a lot about consistency and tire wear. My setup today was very focused on tire wear, but I think next race I'm going to have to push a little bit more towards quality because there'll be a lot more competition out, obviously. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep, well, we are too. So that should pretty much do it. Congratulations on your podium and your 2nd win in a row. Could you possibly think you're a championship contender? Here we come in the last 2 races. It's looking like it. Well, that should be it from everyone in the Tier 2 Championship. Myself, Heykatra, along with LDR Redeemer. But it's not over yet, Redeemer, unless you want to say something. We could wrap it up.
No, I have no more questions.
Let's get it then. All right. In about 30 minutes' time, you can go and tune into the Breakout Racing League again. Actually, it'd be better if you don't go anywhere, because Tier 1 is coming. They're ready, and they're ready to tackle the streets of Monte Carlo and the Principality. And you're going to see Michi as, that's pretty much just a name to say for yourself. You can see the likes of Chandler, Hoopalicious. You can see Bailey, PSR Luis. You can see Cookie, Neymar, Minico. There's so many more names. Axe as well. There's so many names in Tier 1. You can go and watch and see them tackle the streets of Monte Carlo. Well, but if you don't like F1, that's fine. Tune in on Sunday. We have an ACC race instead of Corsa Competizione at Suzuka. That'll be a fun time. And, well, now we get into the fun week, I like to call it. The week from back-to-back street circuits, Monaco to Baku. Because now on Wednesday we have Formula 2. That will happen around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to tackle the streets of Azerbaijan. Well, on Thursday we have the streets of Azerbaijan for the realistic tier. And if you didn't tune in on Thursday, you'll know it's going to be a completely different grid than it was out in Monaco. Friday, you have Tier 3 and Tier 4 at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. And then we comes full circle once again, this time, 8 p.m. next week for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So don't go anywhere. But for now, this will be myself, Heykatra, LDR Redeemer, the entire Tier 2 Championship, and the Breakout Racing League signing off. Good night, good day, good evening, good morning, etc. I don't know anymore. Goodbye.